There is a strange word that has been repeated so often that it became cliché. You can be anything you want. It sounds beautiful, inspiration wrapped in optimism. But when we look deeper through psychology, philosophy, even religion, we find that it hides a paradox, because if you can be anything, why are so few people someone? From a cognitive point of view, human behavior is regulated by what psychologists call self-efficacy. It's the internal belief that I am capable. Esalen de Lanniger would say, belief creates behavior, and behavior creates results. In other words, the brain learns what the mind insists is true. But this is where delusion enters the room, because before you have results, belief looks like insanity. Before you are good, effort looks like arrogance. The neuroscientific principle here is simple. The same mental circuit that supports rational conviction, the prefrontal cortex, is also activated during positive illusion. The brain doesn't fully distinguish between faith and certainty. It treats both as reality under construction. And that's where everything begins. Imagine a young artist who says, "If I quit everything today, I'll become the best athlete in the world." He's mocked, of course. But that sentence, "I can do anything," is the embryo of every extraordinary life. You see, Roger Bannister, the man who first ran a mile in under 4 minutes, wasn't he just a runner? He was a medical student who knew that barriers were not physical. They were linguistic. Science said it was impossible. Doctors said the heart would explode, but Bannister ran and he did it. And here's the curious thing. After he did, within 2 months, 22 others also did. So what changed? Not the human body, the human belief. Every religion has its own interpretation of this mystery, the relationship between faith, action, and destiny. In Judaism, the idea of Hishtadlut teaches that we must make effort, but results depend on heaven. You do your part, and God opens the gates. In Christianity, James writes, faith without works is dead. It's not enough to believe, belief must move the body. In Islam, the Prophet says, tie your camel, and then trust in Allah. First responsibility, then reliance. In Hinduism and Buddhism, karma means that every action plants a seed. What grows depends on the soil of persistence. And so all paths converge into one truth. Divine providence exists but only meets those who keep walking. Now think of another story, a young man who loved computers before the world even knew what they were. Everyone told him, be practical, study law, become a professional, but his passion refused to fit in a syllabus. And one night, while reading an article about the future of computing, he had an idea that changed the world. He left college, started a company in a garage, and for 5 years that company lost money. 5 years of failure. 5 years of people calling him crazy, until one day luck arrived. And luck, as Clovis de Boros Philo often says, is when preparation and opportunity decide to meet for coffee. And when they do, those who stayed faithful to their delusion become what we call genius. We love to imagine life as a straight line. Effort equals success, work equals reward. But life doesn't work like that. It's exponential. Nothing happens for a long time until suddenly everything does. Like Tarantino, who spent 8 years making nothing that worked. 8 years of silence, rejection, and doubt. Until one film one day turned him into a legend overnight. Overnight success is usually 8 years long. And this is why consistency matters more than certainty. The delusion of believing it will work keeps you alive long enough for skill to appear. But let's be honest, not everyone should chase a dream endlessly. Sometimes persistence becomes denial. There's a thin line between resilience and stubbornness. That's why ethics enters here. In the Jewish concept of emunah, faith is not passive acceptance, it's intelligent hope, a belief that includes responsibility. In Christian ethics, humility is the antidote to arrogance. You must believe but also serve. And in Buddhism, attachment to desire is the root of suffering. So even your dream must eventually be free from your ego. So yes, believe, but believe intelligently. Statistically speaking, if you dedicate a lifetime to one thing, you will eventually be in the right place at the right time. The problem is that most people stop walking just before the turn. They confuse waiting with wasting, and so they abandon their path when it was about to open. Delusion, then, is not insanity. It's faith before evidence. It's saying I am capable before anyone else can see it. And when combined with effort, it becomes a formula. Faith plus discipline plus time equals inevitability. You can be anything you want. Maybe not anything, but you can be everything you are capable of becoming, if you stay long enough to meet the moment that was waiting for you. So, before you give up, ask yourself one question. What if the only thing missing is one more day of trying? The Thinker, because reality begins in the mind.